Really?
Oh, did you see Trump last night on Fox News?
No.
Oh, he went hard in the paint.
He did?
Oh my God, he went. You forget, like, I know he's crazy, but you forget how
funny.
much of a better talker he is than
yeah.
Biden.
Oh, yeah.
You're like, oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
He released the hounds.
He did?
Oh my God, on Biden. He's
Really?
like, this is the worst tragedy in American history. You know,
Yeah.
worst tragedy in American history, what we did in Afghanistan. These porn, he's just sticking it to him.
Did you-
And then they go, well, Biden goes, listen, he doesn't know what's going on. He's not, he goes, who knows who's making the calls? He's like, he's not doing it.
Did you see that TikTok or whatever it was where they compare?
Brian.
No, my nephew was showing it to me.
Hey,
My nephew was
Hey.
showing it to me. My
guy-
nephew was showing it
no
to me.
more TikTok, buddy.
The difference between Biden, Obama and Trump, when they talk about the same thing, where Biden's like, he was, Osama bin Laden was given a burial at sea, and it just cut to
Obama?
He died like a dog.
I died like a dog.
That's Trump's problem. Like,
it's so funny,
like
dude.
he's so harsh.
Oh, fuck, it's so funny.
Do you know the name of the TikToker?
I can find it. We were laughing so hard. The guy was laughing. who
Oh,
was
we're
doing
pulling up
it.
the TikTok?
If I can find it. I typed in the Biden and Trump thing. It didn't work.
Oh, that's fucking weird.
Brian, you're more educated than me. I saw that Obama, when he was in office, he let go the head of the Taliban. Is that true, or is that just...
Yeah, he traded him.
He traded him for
traded
prisoners?
it for Bernthal.
Yeah.
So do you think if he never did that, you
Well,
think...
the guy spent from 2002 to 2014 in Guantanamo Bay,
mean-
and hadn't been actually accused of a crime. He was just considered close to Osama bin Laden, so he was too dangerous to let go. And as a result,
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a problem, dude. Now the Taliban, what they do is they create a shield for the terrorist to flourish.
Yeah.
Or-
So it's not gonna be a problem like now, but in a few years it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, or
that's the biggest
or
issue.
the Taliban realizes that there's not a whole lot of profit in that kind of behavior, and it might make sense.
Oh, you're out of your
and more
mind.
money to
Oh, no.
come into the fold a little bit.
No,
That's the
not
whole.
a chance. Well, it's like they were saying, like they were interviewing one guy from the Taliban, and CNN's run with. They're like, actually, Taliban's open and giving women rights.
Yeah.
And then they showed them a woman refused to wear the turban and was talking about women rights. Oh, they shot her in the face.
Oh, shit.
So
They're erasing all pictures of women in there in Afghanistan now,
Yeah.
too. Did we show the clip of the lady talking about the Taliban? We did that on...
we done
Catch,
King
right?
of the Sting.
Yeah.
Where she's like, they're shouting death to Americans, but they actually seem pretty cool.
Yeah, okay.
She's on the street.
What?
You're like, what?
Yeah.
This
It's
was a
great.
reporter?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was real, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like a white reporter, like
Oh,
she's
from
from
the-
Americans,
yeah.
but she's in the whole get
At the end of the day,
she's
I
like,
think
they're shouting death to Americans, but they're actually
seem
pretty
pretty
cool.
nice, yeah.
the worry is that the country falls into civil war.
Yeah.
And again,
Because you said there's tribes.
it's tribal.
I talked to some guys who are over there and like are knee deep in that shit, and I said, because we were doing the King's thing yesterday, we were talking about it, I wanted to get a little facts on it because nobody here knows what the fuck's going on, and they said it's a good idea to get out of there, but not the way we did it.
Yes.
They
Well,
said the way we did it was not the smart way.
The
to
big
do it.
lesson though is this: with all our intel, and all the policy people who study this, what I think is very significant is that none of them saw the country falling.
They were all
that
off.
quickly.
Yeah,
They were
and we're
all
talking about
off.
our experts who
they were all off.
are basically calling the shots. Like Biden's just like,
It
what?
fell,
It was-
fell in 11 days, and no one saw that. We thought
In
we'd
4
have a-
days, 60% of the country's taken over.
4 days. What does that mean? What that means is that the Taliban, as we call them, have an enormous amount of sympathy among the people in that country because a lot of the effort wasn't reaching a lot of those people.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to take that into account, right?
Yeah.
It's a little bit like the way the Viet Cong in Vietnam
Mm-hmm.
had so much sympathy, but people didn't have allegiance to Saigon. And it was like, well, that you have to look at what's really going on in the hearts and minds of the people, and that's hard. If
But
you're not from
they had a
Afghanistan.
retired 4-star general on the other day, and he was just talking about, he's like the Taliban and the people in Afghanistan, they don't want Americans there. Like,
No.
so we have so much power with that. Before we just dipped out and fucked, like there's like, they don't know the reports. They think there's between 10 to 30,000 Americans stuck over there now. So he's like, it would have been so much easier to go, all right, we'll leave. You have our word, but we have to get all these people out.
That's
As
right.
soon as they're out, then we'll leave.
Yeah.
Because they
Yeah.
want us out so
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
They've been like, all right, cool,
Yeah.
fly everybody out. That's
Yes.
fine. And we could have got everybody out. But instead of doing this knee-jerk reaction, like, all right, we're out, people are fucked, dude.
Yes.
Fucked.
Now, I did hear that
And those are experts that were in Biden's ear giving
and
that
had
information.
no idea. You know,
But the guys who are in the military, they have ideas.
Yeah.
But they're not. They can't. They
there.
don't have the presidents there.
Afghanistan has always been that whirlpool you get sucked into. You try to go in there with a light footprint, as we said, and you still get sucked.
Yeah, it goes. Even some with the Russians tried to take it over years ago, in the 80s, 70s.
Genghis Khan, Alexander
Yeah.
the Great. Who else? The Russians. Nobody conquers Afghanistan. The British.
Now remember those Taliban. They're only like 35,000 strong.
75,000 about.
They don't know the exact number. So
It
let's
was
say
roughly that.
75,000 took over the country, and there's 300,000
And an Air
troops.
Force, plus an Air Force.
We took
Plus
the Air
an Air
Force and
Force.
their drones away, so that's a little tough. But still,
they did have planes.
75,000 over 300,000. That's how good of fighters they are.
Yeah. Well,
They're fucking tough,
Also, the country itself, the towns, the military, massive desertions. They were just like, I'm not fighting those guys. I'm not killing those guys. I know those guys. I know those guys. I don't know you Americans.
Yeah.
I know those
But
guys.
it's not even that. A, we know them, and B, they're better fighters than us, and C, we really don't know what the fuck we're doing, so we're gonna die.
What is that expression? It's one thing to know what you're fighting against. We went in there, and I agreed with why we went in there, because they were harboring our enemies, Al Qaeda, and I supported that 100%. That's what we were fighting against, terrorism.
And we beat
The
it.
problem is, yes,
we beat it.
we beat it. The problem is, you have to ask yourself, if you're there for 20 years, what are you fighting for? And when you don't know what you're fighting for, that's very
You're saying
important.
if you're an
If you're American,
Afghani.
if you're American.
Well, if you're American, you're fighting so that doesn't come back. right?
That's right, but it seems to me that we did that after we bombed Tora Bora, and they already went into Waziristan and Pakistan. And so, we turned we had all that military machinery, and who was there? The Taliban, who'd never killed Americans. We turned on them. And then we got ourselves, whether we knew it or not, into a type of civil. We took sides, even though we tried to use the Northern Alliance to do it. Blah blah blah.
It's dicey, man.
It's dicey. And
It's what Biden be remembered for sure.
it's what he will be remembered for. I don't
Not in a
fault him
positive
for
light.
pulling out. Ultimately,
I
It's
fault him
very
for the way
difficult.
he pulled out.
That's what everybody always says. I just think it's very significant that no one saw it falling that quickly, and that's why none of us knew what was really going on in the hearts and minds of average Afghanis.